Hi, I'm Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and you can throw a rock on YouTube and find a channel with a video telling you which comic books to pick up this week, or what comic books are hot new keys, or whatever. There's apps, there's lists. It's all over the place. I'm going to take a little bit different approach, and I've compiled a list of 5 comic books from all those different places. And these are a list of 5 comic books that I don't think you should buy. Number 5, I have picked Joker #2 second printing. So why is Joker 2 second printing supposed to be a hot comic? Well, sometimes second printings aren't heavily ordered, aren't looked after in the same way that the first printing is. The thing about Joker 2 that made it special is it was a low ordered book that people weren't looking at. And by the time that people found out it was a first appearance, the book had already been printed and there were only so many copies to go around. Well, people are going to heavily order a second print of this book, probably because it's on a lot of these lists. And there's no reason for it to be a big book. Try to find a first print of Joker 2. Just my 2 cents. Do whatever you want with your money. Okay, number 4 on the list really surprised me. Wildcats #1. I just don't see this ever being a big deal. So this was specifically Wildcats 1 newsstand, which, to be fair, is more rare than the direct edition of this comic book. But even then, who cares? Other characters from the Wildstorm Image imprints have appeared in comic books in the DC continuity. You've had Caitlin Fairchild crossover. She did it in an issue of Superboy. You've had Grifter make multiple appearances throughout Batman and different titles. People don't care. So why would anybody care if these Wildcats characters are coming over? Like, is Zealot really going to sell some books or something all of a sudden? I just don't see it happening. So if you already have this one in your back bins, in your long boxes or whatever, now's the time to sell it, guys, because you're never going to get more for Wildcats 1 short of a movie announcement. So the newsstand part of this is kind of good advice, but I just still don't see it ever amounting to anything. And I definitely wouldn't go chase it when the prices are high right now. And in a couple months, it'll be back down to $5 or $10 like it always was. Next up, there's a Black Widow Prelude book that's been kind of popping up. And this is basically a book that was handed out to people as they went to Black Widow in theaters. There's no reason why this book should be a key. If there's anything key in this book, let me know, because I haven't heard anything that's a first appearance or anything in this book. At the same time, the movie didn't do very well. Like, it hasn't been like a huge success critically or at the box office. There's a photo cover that's apparently like an international variant, so that'll be a little bit more rare, but people have to still care about it 6 months, a year, 6 years from now for that book to ever increase in value. And right now people are flipping it for a good amount of money. Why pay the flipping prices right now in this book? It makes no sense. My number 2 book is going to be kind of for similar reasons. This is Inhumans 5. This is the first appearance, or kind of some people argue it's the first cameo appearance of Yelena Belova, who is, going to be the new Black Widow, it looks like, from all accounts from the movie. And this is actually a good book to have owned before Black Widow came out. And now that she's made her debut, that book is actually at probably one of its peak prices that we're going to see for a while. It'll probably, if the comic market stays hot, it'll probably peak again the next time she's announced to be in a new project or she shows up in another trailer. You'll see interest in this book spike up again. But here's the thing. Don't buy it now, right after the movie came out and that appearance has been made. If you really want to get this book, and I can understand why you might want to. I was looking for this book for a while before Black Widow came out. I never saw it at a price I liked. But if you do want to chase this book, I would buy it kind of somewhere in between now and whenever that next project is going to be. And of course, we don't know when that's going to happen, but we also know it's not going to be next month. She's not going to show up in some new trailer. It's going to be maybe a year, at least 6 months. Check back on this book in a few months and see what it's doing. I guarantee you it won't be at the price it's at now. Okay, for the number 1 spot for this list, this is going to be really funny because this is a book I would love to own. I actually think this is an amazing book. I wish I'd picked one up a few years ago when it was a little bit more reasonable. And that's X-Men 101. Some people will call it Uncanny X-Men 101. And it's the first appearance of Phoenix. It's an iconic cover, great Chris Claremont story. I love this book, guys, but now is not the time to buy it. It's showing up on lists. And that's driving the price up. Every time those books show up on those lists, it drives the price up because speculators will flock to go buy these books now. And here's the thing. What's going to cause this book to go up in the future? We've already seen 2 Phoenix related movies with X-Men 3: The Last Stand and with the terrible Dark Phoenix movie that just came out. what are they going to do? Another Phoenix saga in the X-Men storyline right away? I don't think so. Whenever the X-Men get announced, if it's a huge success, they'll probably maybe eventually get to a Phoenix storyline, but I definitely wouldn't hold my breath on them making another Phoenix related MCU style project, at least anytime soon. And not only that, it's not the first appearance of Jean Grey. It's definitely a great book, but it's a terrible time to buy it. If you believe that the comic book market is inflated right now, that we're seeing prices at all-time highs, this is the perfect example of a book that it makes sense to wait to buy. If there's some kind of crash or a market correction or whatever you want to call it, this book would be a book that's going to go down a little bit in value, not up, because there's no future key real relevance here that we're looking for. Not like what you'd see like X-Men 94. That makes perfect sense for that book to be high. Giant size X-Men makes perfect sense for that book to be high. But this book, X-Men 101, besides being an iconic cover, doesn't have much going for it. I strongly believe we'll see this book at lower prices at some point in the future, and I would wait and save some bucks and not pick up this book when it's at these inflated prices. All right, so there's my top 5 books that I wouldn't recommend buying this week. Let me know what you thought about this video down below in the comments. Hopefully this is a little bit of a different kind of video for everybody than what you see normally, and I hope you guys appreciated that. Thank you so much for watching, and I want to remind you, as always, hey, read comics every day.